We are looking for a word that has almost been lost over time. Hey everyone, this is Mike. In this video, I want to show you an English word that has been changed in modern Bible translations, and what a huge mistake it was to change it. Okay, note to the viewer. The next few minutes in the video is a dramatization. No paid actors were used. Please hang around to the end for a very important message. Okay, here's my story. A guy contacted me saying that he has a long lost secret about the King James Version of the Bible. I can't tell you his real name or where he lives. He lives in an off-grid camp in an undisclosed location. We're going to try and find this guy and see what he can show us. For now, we will use his code name, King James. This guy, King James, he lives in an area that is sort of dangerous. So we'll be taking along some hardware. I have my Red Ryder BB gun for protection. So come along as we begin our quest to find this guy and see what secret he can share about the King James Version. I think I see a sign. Let's see what this says. John 13:5, New International Version. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. That don't sound right. Okay, we have to walk now. Some parts of the trail are getting hard to pass with a vehicle. His camp should be somewhere nearby. I think I see another sign. English Standard Version, that's one of my favorites. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel that was wrapped around him. Still don't sound right. We'll keep looking. Okay, we should be getting close. I'll see another sign. New King James Version. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. Still not right. Something ain't right. Let's keep looking. Okay, we found this clearing. I'm thinking this is the right place. And I see a sign. Let's go take a look. King James Bible. After that, he poureth water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. That sounds more correct because of a couple of key words. Let's head back to the office and find out why. Okay, let's jump in and see what word or words were changed and why it matters. Okay, we're looking at John 13:5 in several English translations. John's Hebrew name being Yochanan. I'm going to move fairly quickly in order to keep this video short. Please pause or rewatch if you need to. And my disclaimer, I'm not a KJV only person. Some of my friends are, and that's okay with me. And I'm not telling anyone to throw away their NIV. I'm just pointing out what I have found. In this case, as we move forward, pay attention to the word poured. Here are 3 more versions, all of which use the word poured. For a new believer, the Elizabethan English can be a little difficult, but let's don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. In most cases, there is a method to the madness. And as we read this verse, after that, he poureth water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. And let me add this here, for some of you, what I'm getting to, this may be common knowledge, but it wasn't for me. As we've shown, most of the English versions use the word poured, as in past tense. Please note that the KJV does use the word poured over 80 times, as we will see a sample in the next slide. That is to say that the translators could have used the word poured in this verse like they did in other verses, but they chose not to. This is just a few of the verses where the KJV translators used the word poured. Just to establish they didn't always say poureth. It depends on the original Greek or the original Hebrew. The translators had no problem using the word poured when it was appropriate. At this point, again, some of you may know where I'm going with this, but not everyone does. Now let's look at John 13:5 again. After that he poureth water into a basin, and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wipe them with the towel wherewith he was girded. Even the spell checker doesn't like the word poureth, but we like it. If John wanted to relate what he saw that night, he could have written just like the modern English version, saying he poured the water and began to wash the disciples' feet. End of story. But that is not the end. The word poured is present tense. Let me say this. You can ask people that know me, and I don't show a lot of emotion, but I get very excited every time I study this out. We want to take a quick look at the original Greek to prove the translators were correct in making this verb in present tense, not past tense. As a matter of fact, all three verbs in this verse are present tense, active voice. You may have to take a minute and let that sink in. Okay, first we're looking at the Greek word for the word poureth. It is balo, and I'm not going to try to pronounce all the Greek words, but I can show you the Strong's connections. The Strong's number G906, and to the right you can see that is a verb in present tense, active voice. Okay, and the Greek word for the verb wash is G3538. Again, you can see to the right, it is present tense, active voice. And the last verb in this verse, G1591, for wipe, it's present tense, active voice. So what does that mean to me? The author of John wrote his gospel many years after the actual events. He could have just written what he saw that night in past tense, but no. He was divinely inspired to correctly use the present tense of all three verbs. The Messiah is still washing the feet of his disciples. As believers, we are daily being washed by the water of the Word. Going to the Word shows us when and how we need to be washed. We live in a time where it might be easier just to change the word than to wash ourselves. Okay, I could go on for a long time about this one verse, but I will stop for now. We found the lost word. If you can make time, do a deeper study of the other words in John 13:5. Okay, and our next video is in the works. It is called Your Messiah Has a Hole in His Side. Until then, thank you for watching.